Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizky Wahyu. I am student from Universitas Lancang Kuning, and I will explain material about concept of passive. Passive is a form of sentence where the subject of the sentence receives the action, not takes the action, unlike active, which focuses on the party taking the action. Door of action. This form focuses more on the party of object that receives the result of the action. Formula of the passive. Subject add to be at past participle. For example, I noticed that a window had been left open. Every year, thousands of people are killed on our roads. All the cookies have been eaten. My car has been stolen. The next material will be brought by my group of friends.
Okay, next about passive of modal verb phrases. In a modal verb phrases, the passive is formed by adding be plus the past participle after the modal for the present tense and have been plus the past participle after the modal for the past tense. Modal verb tense formation in passive present modal plus be plus past participle. Example: revision for spelling can usually be done on a computer. Cheating on tests should be reported to the judicial board. In past formula, modal plus have been plus past participle. Example: it is possible that the rain could have been delayed. I think she should have been elected chair of the committee. Passive conditional verb phrases. Conditional verb phrases formation in passive. Note: use the passive of the appropriate verb tense or modal verb phrases. Real conditional. For example, if Ben makes a mistake, he is corrected by his friend. For present or future, if the computer software were shipped tonight, it would arrive tomorrow. What becomes were in the if clause? Were past. Example: if the dam had not been constructed, we would have had a flood last spring. Passive of infinitives and gerunds. Infinitive is passive voice. Present infinitives. For formula, to plus be plus past participle. Example: she arranged for the makeup test to be given Monday. For perfect infinitives, formula to plus have been plus past participle. Example: the results were supposed to have been sent yesterday. For gerund in passive voice, for formula being plus past participle. Example: he did not like being called Jim instead of James. Being awakened in the middle of the night by a telephone call upset George. After being told, we go from one office to another. Will finally found where to turn in his financial aid form. Gonna explain about error with the passive, common problem, rules, and self-help strategies. Definition of the error. An error with the passive occurs when a verb in the passive voice has been incorrectly formatted or when the passive voice has been used where the active voice is needed. Common problem, rules, and self-help strategies. Problem 1. The passive has been incorrectly formatted. Example, incorrect some pronunciation for a problem can be fixed easily. Correct. Some pronunciation problem can be fixed easily. In self-help strategies, refer to this chart in this section to see if you have formatted the passive correctly in the verb tense you are using. Problem 2. The passive is needed instead of the active voice. Example, incorrect, a new air conditioner installed next week. Correct, a new air conditioner will be installed next week. In self-help strategies, always remember that if the subject is doing this action, you should use the active voice. If the action is being done the subject by someone or something, you should use the passive voice. Next, problem 3. The passive has been used with a verb that cannot be made passive. Example, incorrect. Male dominance over female still is existed in some countries. Correct. Male dominance over female still exists in some countries. Rule. Only transitive verb that can take a direct object can be made passive. Intransitive verb that cannot take a direct object cannot be made passive. In self-help strategies, if you are unsure whether a verb is transitive or intransitive, check the verb in dictionary. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.